Right, thank you, ladies. We did a Freemasons Gentlemen's Evening in Bury on last Wednesday, and Bernadette felt very intimidated, and we couldn't understand why, but I think we do know why now, don't we, lads?
I feel much better tonight.
Anyway, we'll just get the serious bit over first, okay? Tonight, it's Lancashire Day, so
Fire exits.
no, there's a proclamation. It's times like this when you wish you brought your glasses. So, to the people of the city and county palatine of Lancaster, greetings. Know ye that this day, November the 27th, in the year of our Lord, 2008, the 57th year of the reign of Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth, Duke of Lancaster, it is Lancaster Day. Hang on, we're not finished yet, I'm just taking the thing. Know ye also, and rejoice, that by virtue of Her Majesty's County Palatine of Lancaster, the citizens of the hundreds of Lonsdale, north and south of the Sands, Amounderness, Leyland, Blackburn, Salford, West Derby, are forever entitled to style themselves Lancastrians. Throughout the County Palatine, from the Furness Fells to the River Mersey, from the Irish Sea to the Pennines, this day shall ever mark the people's pleasure in their excellent distinction of true Lancastrians. Proud of the red rose and loyal to their sovereign duke. Now, ladies, if those with glasses, if you just stand to take the Lancashire Day toast, please. If you just raise your glasses, please, ladies, if you've got a glass. God bless Lancashire, and God save the Queen, Duke of Lancaster. Thank you very much indeed. And can I just say, before we go any further, I thought I did very well there, because usually the only toast I get involved with is like a tea cake in Morrison's Cafe on a Saturday morning, you know, but it wasn't too bad, was it? Anyway, we're called Trouble at Mill. My name's Graham. I don't know whether I dare say this now. This is Bernadette, otherwise known as wife.
Hey, you've never had a cheer that big, have
And
you?
normally I have it tied to sink on a piece of string about this long. She can get to washing machine on that side and oven on that, and really she doesn't need to go any further, do you? This is John on the other guitar. John's not always with us. Just give him a bit of a twirl, John.
Twirl?
We think he's saving up for a haircut. Okay.
That's if they ever pay me.
And this is Dennis on the other on the bass guitar here, or one of his bass guitars, because he's quite posh. He's got two, you see. He's only got one tonight, have you? Yeah. And what you will notice about Trouble at Mill tonight is that John and Bernadette and I spend most of the evening smiling at the audience, because we're really happy people, you know. Dennis is a bit of a miserable old sod, okay. No, there's a reason for it. He actually went in for a bit of an operation last Monday, and he's still got the stitches in. They're pulling a bit when he moves, and he's wincing, you know what I mean? So he's in a lot of pain. He had a vasectomy, okay. He didn't actually go in for a vasectomy. He went in to have his tonsils out, but somebody turned trolley round. Anyway, we're going to start off with a famous Lancashire song, and if anybody's been studying the entrance hall for any length of time tonight, you'll know where we're coming from, okay. It's about a song called E by Gum But I'm Cowed, and it's about a bloke who's always complaining about it being cold. E by gum but I'm cowed. E by gum but I'm cowed. My arms are like stone, my feet are like lead. I haven't been warm since I left me bed, and I'll sneak right up to fire as near as I'm allowed, and I might get greatly warm at last. Hey, by gumber I'm cowed. Now Jonathan Pratt were a gradely chap, who liked a pint of ale. That's why his nose were always red, and his cheeks were always pale. And if you stopped him on the street for to pass the time of day, in drunken tones as he raised his hat, this is what he'd say. All together now. Oh, hey, by Gumber and Cow. Hey, by Gumber and Cow. My arms are like stone, my feet are like lead. I haven't been warm since I left me bed, and I'll sneak right up to fire as near as I'm allowed, and I might get really warm at last. Hey, by Gumber and Cow. Now a glass at night was his great delight, for it warmed him up, you know, and often over danger line third bugger used to go. The parson said, my man, well, you're on your downward way. But Jonathan said, I don't much care, it's warm down there, they say. Oh, hey, by Gumber and Cow. Hey, by Gumber and Cow. My arms are like stone, my feet are like lead. I haven't been warm since I left me bed, and I'll sneak right up to fire as near as I'm allowed, and I might get greatly warm at last. Hey, by Gumber and Cow. Now Jonathan finally met his match with a yard of ale, they say. So they laid him out with a jug of stout for to warm him on his way. The devil welcomed him and took him by the arm. But Jonathan said, if this is hell, it's not so bloody warm. Oh, hey, by Gumber and Cow. Hey, by Gumber and Cow. My arms are like stone, my feet are like lead. I haven't been warm since I left me bed, and I'll sneak right up to fire as near as I'm allowed, and I might get greatly warm at last. Hey, by Gumber and Cow. I'm freezing. No, I'm not now. Right. By the way, if anybody's looking at me and they think he looks a bit tired, I am. I'm exhausted this morning. I had a really bad night's sleep last night. 3 o'clock this morning, doorbell's going ding dong ding, and you think, oh dear me, one of the kids must have had an accident or something. So I jumped out of bed, got my slippers on, put my dressing gown on, banged downstairs. I opened the door, and there's this big stupid looking bloke stood on step and looking at me, and he said, "Can you give us a push?" I said, "You what?" I said, "You haven't got me up at 3 o'clock in the morning for a push." I said, "Go on." I said, "On your bike, get lost." I said, "Go on, beggar off." You know. And I slammed door, and I walked upstairs, and I was cursing and swearing under my breath. I got back to the bedroom, and Bernadette woke up with a noise, and she said, "What's the matter?" I said, "Some silly so-and-so at the door at this time of night asking for a push." And she said, "Well, the world turns, you know," because she's obviously been called Bernadette. She's a bit that way anyway, you know. She said, "The world turns, you know." She said, "It's only a couple of weeks ago when a complete stranger ran you 11 miles with your petrol can, because you'd run out of petrol, to a garage so you could fill your car up, and then he ran you back so you could carry on your journey." She said, "I think you should help the man out." I said, "I happen you're right." So got out of bed again, got dressed quickly, put my old clothes on, went downstairs, opened front door, and I shouted, "All right then, where are you?" And this voice said, "I'm over here by swings." Anyway, Bernadette's going to sing one for you now. And it was the first track on that Seekers CD that I was just playing then. But I didn't play it because they don't do it quite as good as we do, do they? But it's got a great chorus. I want you to all to join in singing the chorus. I think you'll all know it. It's a lullaby, okay. But we're not trying to put anybody to sleep. It's just, as I say, it's got a great chorus. Why I know it's a lullaby is I've got this vivid picture in my mind. I can see it now, plain as day. My mum used to sit me on her knee, and she bounced me gently up and down singing this song to me, trying to put me to sleep. And it never worked because we were 38 at the time. But here we go. We'll try it, okay. Join in with the chorus. And I would usually say, see if you can remember who sang it. But I told you beforehand. But I do like to scan the audience just before we start this to see how many people in the audience are perhaps old enough to remember this when it was in the top 20. And I think all of you are. You know, okay, so here we go.
Train whistle blowing makes a sleepy noise. Underneath the blanket go all the girls and boys.
All together now.
Rocking, rolling, riding out along the bay. All bound for morning town, many miles away. Driver at the engine, fireman rings the bell, Sandman swings the lantern to show that all is well. Rocking, rolling, riding out along the bay, all bound for morning town, many miles away. Maybe it is raining where our train will ride. All the little travelers are warm and snug inside. Rocking, rolling, riding out along the bay, all bound for morning town, many miles away. Somewhere there is sunshine, somewhere there is day, somewhere there is morning town, many miles away. Rocking, rolling, riding out along the bay, all bound for morning town, many miles away. Rocking, rolling, riding out along the bay, all bound for morning town, many miles away. Thank you.
Have we any weavers in? Yeah?
Down at the right.
Spinners? Yeah?
The spinner.
Doffers, winders, anything like that, yeah. Well, it was kind of accepted, wasn't it? If you lived in Preston or Blackburn or Accrington, Bolton, when you left school, you went to work at mill. And everybody went to work at mill except for my granddad, who were a right stubborn old bugger. And he said to his mum and dad, he said, I'm not going to work at mill. He said, I'm going to get a proper job. And he got a job as an apprentice Roman candle packer at Brock's Fireworks. And he started work on his 14th birthday, and they put him to work with this old bloke, and this old bloke said to him, Albert, he said, if thou wants to live a long and ailment-free life, sprinkle a spoonful of this on the cornflakes every morning. He said, they'll never ail out. And my granddad said, what is it? He said, it's gunpowder out at Rockets. So he did. Every morning for the rest of his life, he used to sprinkle a spoonful of gunpowder onto his breakfast. And it worked. He retired when he was 65. He'd never had a day off sick. And he went on to live to the grand old age of 104. And he died peacefully in his sleep, never been ill once. And he left 7 children, 28 grandchildren, and a 15-foot hall at Crematorium Wall. and it's poverty, poverty not. My loom is saying all day, poverty, poverty not. Gaffers too skinny to pay, poverty, poverty not. Always one eye on the clock, and I know I can guttle when I hear me shuffle go, poverty, poverty not. Up every morning at 5, it's a wonder as we stay alive. Stretching and yawning on this cold morning, back to the dreary old dive. Poverty, poverty not. My loom is saying all day, poverty, poverty not. Gaffers too skinny to pay, poverty, poverty not. Always one eye on the clock, and I know I can guttle when I hear me shuttle go, poverty, poverty not. Oh dear, we're going to be late. Gaffer is stood at the gate. With out in our pockets, our wages he'll dock it. We'll have to buy bread on the slate. Poverty, poverty not. My loom is saying all day, poverty, poverty not. Gaffers too skinny to pay, poverty, poverty not. Always one eye on the clock, and I know I can guttle when I hear me shuttle go, poverty, poverty not. Sometimes a shuttle flies out and gives some poor bugger a clout. There she lies bleeding with nobody heeding. Won't someone carry her out? Poverty, poverty not. My loom is saying all day, poverty, poverty not. Gaffers too skinny to pay, poverty, poverty not. Always one eye on the clock, and I know I can guttle when I hear me shuffle go, poverty, poverty not. Tatler should come to me loom. He'd rather sit on his bum. He's far too busy courting our Lizzie. I cannot get him to come. Our Lizzie is easily led. I think as he takes her to bed. She used to be skinny, now look at her pinny. I think it's about time they got wed. Poverty, poverty not. My loom is saying all day, poverty, poverty not. Gaffers too skinny to pay, poverty, poverty not. Always one eye on the clock, and I know I can guttle when I hear me shuffle go, poverty, poverty not.
Well, not. We remember a Lancashire hero, and we'll all raise a glass in his name. Now he lies neath the clay of a land far away, and a single red rose marks his grave. It was not for his queen or his country, not for his loved ones back home. It was all about oil on some Middle East soil. We remember a Lancashire hero.
Young Daniel McCoy was a likeable boy, Lancashire through to the core. He couldn't get a trade, so he joined the brigade with a promise of adventure in store. He did 20 weeks basic training, where he learned how to march, shoot and kill. Then with pack on his back, he was shipped to Iraq, a peacekeeping role to fulfill. We remember a Lancashire hero, and we'll all raise a glass in his name. Now he lies beneath the clay of a land far away, and a single red rose marks his grave. It was not for his queen or his country, not for his loved ones back home. It was all about oil on some Middle East soil. We remember a Lancashire hero. Now Basra's no place for a Lancashire face, all alone and with nowhere to hide. There's no one to trust amidst the sand and the dust stirred up by the riots outside. He picked up his young wounded comrade from the vehicle's burning front seat. Then leaving his gun, he started to run to the opposite side of the street. We remember a Lancashire hero, and we'll all raise a glass in his name. Now he lies beneath the clay of a land far away, and a single red rose marks his grave. It was not for his queen or his country, not for his loved ones back home. It was all about oil on some Middle East soil. We remember a Lancashire hero. He protected his friend right up to the end, but the odds against him, they were stacked. He took one in the neck, then two in the chest, and one in the small of the back. He was glad when the fighting was over, as he slowly fell down to the ground. And just for that last breath, in between life and death, he was back in his Lancashire town, where we remember our Lancashire hero. And we've all raised a glass in his name, though he lies beneath the clay of a land far away. There's a single red rose marks his grave. It was not for his queen or his country, not for his loved ones back home. It was all about oil on some Middle East soil. We remember a Lancashire hero. We remember a Lancashire hero. Thank you.
Old Pendle, thou standest alone, twixt Burnley and Clitheroe, Whalley and Cone, where Hunter and Rimble's fair waters do meet, with barley and Downham contented thy feet. Old Pendle, by moorland and fell, in glory and loveliness ever to dwell. Thy beauty eternal, thy banner unfurled, thou art dearest and grandest old hill in the world. Old Pendle, thou standest Ribbles fair waters to meet, with barley and downham content at thy feet. When witches do fly on a cold winter's night, we won't tell a soul and we'll bar the door tight. We'll sit round the fire and keep ourselves warm until once again we can walk in thy arm. O Pendle, thou standest alone, twixt Burnley and Clitheroe, Whalley and Cone, where harder and Ribble's fair waters do meet, with barley and downham content at thy feet. Old Pendle, majestic, sublime, thy praises shall ring till the end of all time. Through life's fateful journeys, wherever I be, I pause in my labours and oft think of thee. O Pendle, thou standest alone, twixt Burnley and Clitheroe, Whalley and Cone, where harder and Ribble's fair waters do meet, with barley and downham content at thy feet.
Has anybody been to Fleetwood lately? Yeah? We did a silver wedding in Fleetwood a weekend, and it was a couple of friends of ours, so we thought rather than risk driving home, we'll bed and breakfast, have a few pints, you know, and a couple of sherries for Bernadette. And
A couple?
yeah, well, more than a couple, yeah, because she does like a tipple now and again, don't you, Bernadette? And we
She don't get them rosy cheeks for
she's
nothing.
not tippling behind there, is she now? And we had we booked into a bed and breakfast place just down by the the Nautical College on the way down to Russell, down near there, and rolled in early in the morning because it was quite a late party. And I mean, these two lads obviously had two single rooms. Bernadette and I had a double on the first floor, and we just had a quick glance at the notice on the back of the door when we got in, and it said breakfast served any time between 8:15 and 9:15. So set the alarm on the mobile phone for 10 to 8, and we got up, we went down for breakfast. We stood there at 8:15. There wasn't a cereal bowl in sight or anything, you know, and strange. 8:30, nothing. 8:45, nothing. 9 o'clock, we heard this padding downstairs, and the landlady came down, and she had a dressing gown on. She said, "What are you doing up at this time?" And Dennis and Johnny were down by this time. We said, "Well, we've got up for breakfast." She said, "What do you mean got up for breakfast?" She said, "We don't serve breakfast till 10 o'clock. Well, we said, "There's a sign out door, it says 8:15. She said, "No, that's during week when people are working." She said, "Weekends, people like a lion." She said, "We don't serve it till 10 o'clock. So it was too late to go back to bed, so we thought, well, we'll have a walk now. It was a bit of a fresh morning. We'll have a walk along the sand and see where the pier used to be, you know. And it was very quiet on the beach at Fleetwood. And we were heading sort of that way towards the pier, and there was one single figure, lone figure in the distance coming towards us. And as he got closer, I thought, it's a bloke. And as he got closer still, I thought, he's walking with a bit of a limp. And as he got closer still, I thought, no wonder he's walking with a limp, he's getting a wooden leg. And as we passed, I said, "Good morning." He said, "Good morning, it's hard work walking on this sand, isn't it?" I said, "Aye, what have you been doing?" "Oh," he said, "I had an accident on this very beach." He said, "There are tin cans sticking up out at sand." He said, "I went to kick it in sea." He said, "And when I kicked it," he said, "I only realised then it weren't a tin can." He said, "It was one of them confounded landmines."
Did he say confounded?
Well, I don't say what he really said. He said, and it exploded. He said, blew my leg off. He said, that's why I've had to have wooden leg fitted. And then I noticed he had a hook where his right hand should be. And I said, oh, I said, did you injure your arm in the explosion? He said, no, completely unrelated incident yet again on this very beach. He said, I threw a tennis ball at Seafit Dog. He said, and it went to retrieve it. He said, and when it brought it back, he said, I went to grab it out of its mouth. He said, and I got hold of it. He said, it was only then that I realised. He said, he hadn't brought a tennis ball back. He said, it ran grenade. He said, it exploded. He said, blew my hand off. He said, that's why I've had that hook fitted.
What happened to the dog?
I didn't ask what happened to the dog. But the reason that I didn't ask what happened to the dog was I was slightly distracted then by the fact that he also had a glass eye. And I said, oh, did you get blinded by the shrapnel? He said, no, completely unrelated incident yet again on this very beach. He said, I heard a commotion in the sky above me. He said, I looked up and there were two seagulls squabbling. He said, and one of them did its business and it hit me right in the eye. I said, well, surely a bit of seagull poo wouldn't blind you. He said, no, but I'd only had the hook fitted that morning. I was in Asda. We were doing our weekly shop and we were going down the tin vegetable aisle and I had the trolley full of tins, quite heavy. And I suddenly went all cold and clammy out. I thought, I've lost Bernadette. You know, I panicked. And I dashed to the end of the aisle to see if I could see her. And just as I got to the end of the aisle, this big bloke was coming around the corner. I think he was either a weightlifter or a wrestler because he was like cracking walnuts in his armpit at the time, you know. And I bumped my trolley right into him, right where it hurts, and he kind of buckled over it. And I said, I'm sorry, mate. I said, I didn't mean to bash into you. I said, I've lost my wife. He said, have you? He said, I've lost my wife. I said, what does she look like, your wife? He said, well, she's 6 foot tall, long blonde hair, blue eyes. He said, very slim. He said, quite well endowed. He said, and she's wearing hot pants, fishnet tights and thigh-length boots. He said, what does your wife look like? I said, never mind that. I said, we'll both look for yours. Join in if you know. Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. Down at our school, teachers are so funny. If you want to see them, you'll have to pay some money. Soldiers half a grand, sailors half a guinea, a big fat men 2 and 10, little kids a penny. Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. Have we got any teachers in the audience tonight, by the way? Any teachers or any retired teachers? Just a couple, right. Well, this is a similar verse just for the teachers, and I'm sure that your colleagues will agree wholeheartedly with the sentiments herein, okay. Down at our school, things are rather funny. Kids do all the bloody work and teachers get the money. Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. Georgie, Porgy, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made them cry. When the boys came out to play, he kissed them too, 'cause it's funny that way. Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. Right, Bernadette, put your fingers in your ears. She doesn't like me singing this next verse because it's all about her mother. A wonderful woman, my mother-in-law. And I'll just do a quick audience survey before I sing this verse. Have we got any mother-in-laws in the audience tonight? If you're a mother-in-law, can you put your hand up, please, so we can see?
I think you better quit and go home now, Graham.
Oh my God, I'm going home. Saturday afternoon, it was absolutely chucking it down on Gregson Lane, where we live. And there was a knock on our door, and I went to answer the door. I'd been watching the football on TV at the time. And there stood on the drive in the pouring rain, looking all wet and cold, was my mother-in-law. And I said to her, what do you want? She said, have you noticed anything different about me? So I had a good look. I said, have you got a new hat? She said, no. I said, well, have you got a new coat? She said, no. I said, I know what it is. I said, you've had your hair done. She said, no, I've not had my hair done. I said, I give up then, what is it? She said, I'm wearing a gas mask. So this is dedicated to all mother-in-laws everywhere. Oh, my wife and I and mother-in-law went to Blackpool by the shore. Mother-in-law, she fell off fear. Wife, she shouted in me, don't stand and watch you drowning. Don't stand and watch you drowning. Don't stand and watch you drowning. I said, Rachel, shut me eyes. Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. Sam, the dirty old man, washed his face in a frying pan, combed his hair with a donkey's tail, scratched his belly with his big toenail. Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. Mary had a little lamb, she tied it to a pylon. 10,000 volts went up its bum, turned its wool to nylon. Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. Now when we were setting up, Eileen just had a quick look at our song list. She said, oh, you're doing early in the morning? I said, yeah. She said, I know a verse that fits. I said, well, do you want to come and sing it with us? She said, no, I can't sing. She said, I have enough trouble doing Jerusalem. She said, but I'll tell you what, she said, I'll write it down for you. She said, and you can sing it for me. So I said, all right then. So this is Eileen's verse, okay. Now my brother Billy had a 10-foot willy. He showed it to the girl next door. She thought it was a snake, so she hit it with a rake. Now it's only 5'4". Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the waterside. We shall not be moved. We're brothers together. We shall not be moved. We're brothers together. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the waterside. We shall not be moved. Feminists. We're sisters together. We shall not be moved. We're sisters together. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the waterside. We shall not be moved. Oh, when the saints, go marching in, go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in. And why we do that one, when the saints go marching in? It's because it lets us do the next verse for the two best football teams in the whole wide world.
Who can they be?
Preston North End.
Yes!
And
Gregson Lane, under 7.
oh, when the Whites, go marching in,
Go marching in. Oh, when the whites go marching in, I want to be in that number. When the whites go marching in.
oh, there's a place in Wigan, a place you all should know. A busy little factory where everything is go. They don't make jakes or Eccles cakes or things to stick on walls. Night and day they work away at Uncle Joe's meatballs. Cause Uncle Joe's meatballs keep you all aboard. Hey up,
Give them to your granny
and watch the bugger go.
away with coughs and sniffles. Take a few in hand, suck 'em and see, and you'll agree they're the best in all the land. Da, 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 da.
Oggy, Oggy, Oggy!
Oi, oi, oi.
Oh, come on, you can do it louder than that. Oggy, Oggy, Oggy! Well, me dad had always wanted curly hair on his baldy head. Suck an Uncle Joe's mint ball, that's what the doctor said. So he got an Uncle Joe's mint ball and sucked it all night long. When he got up next morning, there was hair all over his tongue. 'Cause
Uncle Joe's mint balls keep you all aglow. Give 'em to your granny and watch the bugger go. Away with coughs and sniffles, take a few in hand. Suck 'em and see, and you'll agree they're the best in all the land. Da, 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 da.
Oggy, Oggy, Oggy! Dib, dib, dib!
Dub, dub, dub.
Must be a few Arcalas in tonight.
Well, me granny said me grandad were getting out and slow. Firing granddad's boiler had gone out long ago. So he got an Uncle Joe's mint ball and he sucked it all the night. His hot breath singed her string vest and set the bed alight. 'Cause
Uncle Joe's mint balls keep you all aglow. Give 'em to your granny and watch the bugger go. Away with coughs and sniffles, take a few in hand. Suck 'em and see, and you'll agree they're the best in all the land. Da, 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 da.
Oggy, Oggy, Oggy! Dib, dib, dib!
Dub, dub, dub.
Umpa, umpa! Well, me Uncle Albert passed away with ale upon the brain. The doctor said he was dead and he might never walk again. So they give the corpse an Uncle Joe's and then stood back aghast. Corpse got up, ran to pub and spent the insurance brass. 'Cause
Uncle Joe's mint balls keep you all aglow. Give 'em to your granny
and watch the bugger go.
away with coughs and sniffles. Take a few in the hand, suck 'em and see, and you'll agree they're the best in all the land. Da, 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 da.
Oggy, Oggy, Oggy! Dib, dib, dib!
Dub, dub, dub.
Umpa, umpa! Charcoal, charcoal! They would have sung it at the Towns Women's Guild, you know. I met a girl named Bernadette, in passion she was lacking. So I give her a whiskey to make her frisky, still she wouldn't get cracking. So I give her an Uncle Joe's mint ball to make her all aglow. Now she walks the streets of Wigan, looking for Uncle Joe. 'Cause
Uncle Joe's mint balls keep you all aglow. Give 'em to your granny
and watch the bugger go.
away with coughs and sniffles. Take a few in hand, suck 'em and see, and you'll agree they're the best in all the land. Da, 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 da.
Well, the RSPCA bought 6 tons of Uncle Joe's to give to all the animals to make them all aglow. Our budgie now, it's 6'2", the cat is 8'3". All the poor brass monkeys are as happy as can be. 'Cause
Uncle Joe's mint balls keep you all aglow. Give 'em to your granny
and watch the bugger go.
away with coughs and sniffles. Take a few in hand, suck 'em and see, and you'll agree they're the best in all the land. Da, 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 da.
Last verse, last chorus.
Big finish.
Well, we give one to the Coleman's horse as it were stood in row. It gave a cough, then buggered off with its cart and all its load. Ran on to the race course, going like a bird. Covered the track with nutty slack and came for a second and third. 'Cause
Uncle Joe's mint balls keep you all aglow. Give 'em to your granny
and watch the bugger go.
away with coughs and sniffles. take your viewing hand. So come and see, you'll agree they're the best in all the land.
Who put the Owens on? Go on, Dean. Thank you. We'll see you a bit later. Thank you.